Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a little how-to on how to use the clear stamps. So let's jump into it. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, whether you are a regular or one of our new watchers. We really do appreciate each and every one of you who are watching. I've been getting lots of questions about my stamping, and I have craft hauls with stamps in. I've recently posted a try with me where I was just showing you some of the stamps that I've purchased from places like Temu, Shein and AliExpress. And I've had some questions and noticed some people have been watching who are fairly new to crafting and actually don't know how to stamp or how to use these clear stamps, and I wanted to just give you a very quick how I use them, how they can be used, so that if you are new you can go out and buy these stamps with a little bit more confidence. So I'm going to be using some plain cardstock to show you how to do this. You can use your stamps on whatever you want, directly onto card blanks, cardstock, paper stock, whatever you want you can use them on. This video is specifically on the clear stamping and showing you how to use them. And I hope you do find this useful. And if you do, please do hit that subscribe button. I'm looking at bringing out some more how-to videos on other things. So if you would like to know how to use something, please drop me a comment down below on what you would like to see next. Now, clear stamps can come in lots of different forms. Most of the time they will be in packs such as this. They will be multiple different stamps. Sometimes you'll get them free with magazines, sometimes you can buy them. There's lots of different variations of them. I really like the clear stamps for a few reasons really. One, they're really versatile. You get a lot of them and they're really good value for money. The second one is because they are clear, you can easily place them where you need them to go because you can see your backgrounds behind them. Here I've got two examples. So this one here is a stamp set I bought from Hunky Dory. It's a brand new stamp set. It's still clear. It's been kept out of the sunlight and it works absolutely fine. And we're going to go and have a look at this one. The second one, I bought this from a craft event. It was a 3-day craft fair sale at a local hospice centre, and I know that this is from a magazine. It's gone discoloured on the top where it's been sat in the sun. Now I only paid £1.50 for this set of stamps. They're all individual stamps and I can use them how I like. I picked this up knowing it was already discoloured because even though it has this slight discolouring, I know that this stamp set will still work. And I wanted to show you this and show you that these still work perfectly fine, so that if you go out and you see someone selling them and they're on a really good price simply because they're discoloured, don't turn away from them. See them for what they are, really good value stamps. So we're going to take a look at these two sets in particular. Now, there are some things you're going to need for your stamping. The first thing is you're going to need some sort of block to put your stamps on. These are just some clear acrylic stamping blocks. You can buy them from anywhere. They come in different shapes, different sizes. You can get them in packs. So this was a pack, a mixed pack of lots of different sized stamping blocks. You can also use things such as stamping platforms. So this one is from Crafter's Companion. It has the grid lines and sizes so that if you need it to go somewhere specific, you can absolutely stamp it where you need it to go. Another type of stamping platform you can get is one where you have the base, you can put your card on, you can sit that on with a magnet, and you've got essentially like a flip lid. So you can place the stamp where you want to place it on your card. Then you lift it up with your stamp attached, ink it up, and then when you put it back down, it goes back exactly where you placed it, and you're not trying to sort of remove it around. I don't have one of those to show you. I would love to have one because they look really handy, but for now I use either my platform or the acrylic blocks. The other thing that you're going to need with these types of stamps is some ink, and this is where the amount of variety out there is absolutely phenomenal, from the different brands you can buy to the different types of ink you can buy. Price points are just totally out there. They can be lots of different price points. I've got a few different products that I want to show you, and I'll let you know what I think to them. This doesn't mean that they will be your same thoughts, and there'll be many crafters who may watch this video and say, no, I don't agree. That's absolutely fine. This is just what I've found in using these stamp sets, and these inks, should I say. So the first one I want to show you is these. Apologies for noise. So when I first got back into my paper crafting a few months ago, I went down the route of wanting to get as much stuff as I could as cheaply as possible without actually looking at the quality of them. Now, these were a set of, I believe it's 20 inks from the range. There is nothing wrong with them as such. I purely found that they didn't stamp very nicely. I found that when I put them on my stamp, they kind of like pulled, like it would just stamp in like dots instead of really nicely distributed ink. I still use these, I just don't use them for my stamping. The last project that I used these on, I just like sweeped them on my page, and then I stamped an image on top so that these were the background. The inks, the colours, the pigments in them are really nice. I just didn't like the quality of them. You can definitely go and have a look and use them if you like them. I just wasn't a fan, so yeah, I don't use those as much. These are ones that I invested in afterwards. They're by Hunky Dory. They are their Prism set. It was a set of 40. I think it was a set of 40, and they were on like double discount for club members. They were down from something like £150 to about 50 quid, I think, and I invested in them. They were a really big investment. I've never paid that much for ink before, and I absolutely love them. They ink really nicely. I also use them for watercolouring. You can use them for watercolouring because you can add water and they will spread and move, and they are fantastic. Then the next one that I invested in was a VersaFine for pigment ink. This is absolutely fantastic for fine detail. If you have a stamp that has lots of fine detail in, these are the pads that you want because they will pick up all of that fine detail. Another thing with these is because they're a pigment ink pad, they are a permanent ink pad, and so I can use this for the outer detail of my stamp, and then I can use these Prism inks as watercolours, and the VersaFine won't move. There are lots of other brands that you will have heard of or you will hear of as you are crafting. One of the biggest ones that you'll know is the Temu Haul's Distress series. So you have Distress ink, you have oxides. I only have this one. This one is in the Spun Sugar, and it's their Distress ink. I picked this up from a craft clearance. I would absolutely love to try some more of the Temu Haul's ink pads. Every time I see people using them, they look absolutely fantastic. I haven't got the money to invest in them yet. I keep looking to see if I can find anybody sort of selling any secondhand. But even secondhand, they are a decent price. I believe these are like £6–7 a pad. Which, don't get me wrong, they are well worth the money. They are a true quality ink pad. I just don't have the money to invest in all the colours that I want at the minute. So that is another set that you will hear a lot of. And then you have the archival ones as well. I've got a couple of these Brilliants that I picked up again from the craft clearance, and they work really well. I really like them. I may invest in some more because they are really, really nice. This craft clearance also had like a Nuvo hybrid ink pad. I've used that. yeah, it seems absolutely fine. It also had some of the Harmony by Spectrum Noir. Again, really nice. It's stamped really lovely. So definitely have a look at what's available, but do try to invest in your ink pads. It will make a huge difference to your stamping. So once you've got all of the kit, let's say you've purchased a magazine and it comes with a clear stamp set, you've purchased your preferred way of actually stamping, whether it be the acrylic stamping blocks, the stamping platform, or whatever you want to use. The first thing you're going to do is obviously pick which stamp you want to use. So if we open this up, your stamps will come sandwiched between two pieces of like acetate. One will have the black design on, one of them will be absolutely plain. You may find your stamps a little bit stuck. Just pull them apart. It's absolutely normal, especially when they're new. The more times you use them, the less they will stick to this. They will still stick, but the less time they will stick. So pick whichever one you want. Let's go for one of these with lots of detail in them. And again, you may find that they are a little bit stuck. Pull them. They're very robust. Go gently and they will pull away from the acrylic, from the acetate. It is coming off, so don't worry. So when you pull this off, the black design is left on the acetate. That is so you can see it when you are trying to pick it. The actual stamp itself is completely clear. Okay. I'm going to find my stamping block that fits this one the best, which would be this one. I'm going to grab an ink pad. I am going to use the VersaFine. It's black and it will make it easier for you to see. Now you can do this one of two ways, but what I will say is whichever option you choose, don't push on too hard, okay? You can dab your ink pad over it. That's my preferred method and is the way I'm going to do it. You can also take your stamping block and you can press it into the ink instead. Whatever you do, do not press on too hard. You are only trying to ink the actual raised area of your stamp. If you get any ink in like the little detail pieces, what you may find is when you stamp down on them, if you stamp down too hard, that will also transfer onto your card and it won't be the look that you're going for. So I'm just going to lightly tap my ink pad onto the raised area of the stamp. I'm looking at this kind of from the side so that I can see and make sure that everywhere is being evenly coated in my ink. And now what you'll see is you can see the detail because you've inked it up. Then if you needed to line it up somewhere, you absolutely can. Look, you can see exactly where you're placing it. Place it and commit is the best way to say. Don't try lifting if you don't need to. If you find that you stamp and you misstamp, these are easier to try and line up, but definitely commit to what you're doing. And that is that first image stamped out. Beautiful, clear, crisp image. Because I've now done this in the VersaFine, I know I can go back into this with my water pens and my inks and colour that in, and that isn't going to move. So that is with the VersaFine. I also have a cleaning cloth. You'll find that most do. This is a reusable face wipe. I make them along with my paper crafting. This one didn't pass the quality check because it got a bit caught up. So I use it now to wipe my stamps. So I just give them a little bit of a rub to try and get most of that excess ink off. But just to prove that these can be inked up in lots of different inks, this is the Prism one. So remember, the VersaFine said it's specifically for fine detail and will pick up all the fine pieces. We've got a lot of detail in this stamp. So let's see how the Prism ink does. Is this going to pick up the same detail? So I'm just going to pop this next to it. I'm going to push it down. Exactly the same. So it's still picked up all of those details. You can see the difference in the stamped images. I did press on slightly harder with this one. and you can tell because the stamp has sort of spread out a little bit with the ink, but I say that that's still beautiful in my eyes. And that is essentially how you use these stamps. They are self-adhesive. It's not the right word. They don't have any adhesive on them. They're like a rubber. So they just cling. They cling to your stamp. It's not going to fall off. It's not going to move. It's not going to shift on the actual platform itself. And they're absolutely great. Let's take a look at those ones that have yellowed slightly. So generally speaking, you'll find that the stamps will come completely clear like that one. Those in there. So let's take a look at these. So you can see that they have yellowed on top. So I'm going to take one of these that has yellow in, this one on the edge, just because it's easier. Yep. So I'm going to use a different platform for this one because it's quite a long, tall stamp. So again, it's still stuck to my platform. There's no issues in it sticking down whatsoever. I'm going to take my VersaFine. I'm going to ink it up. Pick up all of that detail. Oh, I've got that on my fingernail. Down and commit. Push down. Lift straight up. Look at that. Absolutely no problems with that whatsoever. It has stamped exactly where it is supposed to stamp and looks absolutely beautiful. I love that. Give the stamp a quick wipe. It's still yellow from the discoloration, but it makes no difference whatsoever. It's still just the same. And they are an absolute bargain because most people just get rid of them because they don't look as nice. But that's done the same job. And that's the general, you know, idea on stamping. You can layer up your stamps as well. You'll find that you'll get some stamps that are designed to be layered up. So I have, and we'll have a look at this together. I have this particular stamp, and one thing that I like to do is make a background with some of my inks, and this is where these cheap inks come in for me. So let me just grab some of these that I've got open. So what I would do is I would, see, they're a bit dry as well, that's the other issue. So just swipe it on that. I'm not after perfection. Put this one next to it. Again, just swipe that. What else have I got here? We've got a purple, so let's go for the purple next. And then blue. That might be about long enough actually. You see, these are just a bit dry. It's taking a lot of swipes to do that. Is that long enough? Yep, that's long enough. So all I've done is I've just swiped some of the cheaper ink on my page. I'm going to take this long love heart stamp, put it on my long stamping block. I'm going to go over it. In fact, no, I won't. I keep using the VersaFine. I want to show you other things. So let's have a look what I've got in here. What would work? It's too pale. I'm not going to find one I like now. I know what I'll use. No, because I've put that pad away. Here we go. I think this will work. This one is a prism. It's the royal blue. I'm hoping this is dark enough for what I want to show you. So I'm going to ink up my stamp. Line it up over this. Stamp it down. There we go. And then this one comes with the matching die, so then I can die cut that. This one also comes with some faces, look. So let's get these faces out. I've got my mini stamp set. Let's have a look. Which one is this one? We're going to go in with some pastel red for the faces. Line it up, stamp it on. That's all I'm doing. And because it's clear, I can see exactly where I'm placing them. Put that on the side, put that one, pick a different colour. Let's go for teal for this one. There we go. So all I've done is inked that on top of some smudged ink, and then just gone in with a little bit more detail with my other colours. And that is how to stamp with the clear stamps. I hope you find that useful. If you have any questions, if there's anything that you are still a little bit unsure of and maybe I've not gone through it, then please do let me know. What I will say is look after your stamps. They will last, well, forever, certainly for a very long time, as long as you look after them. So make sure you pop them back. Try to clean them up as often as you can though. It won't hurt them as such, but it'll just stop transfer of other colours of ink on your following projects if they've already been cleaned up. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you find this useful. If you have, please do hit that subscribe button and feel free to share. You can share any of my videos to anyone you think may find this useful, any people, groups. You can share it on Facebook, you can share it on TikTok. Any way you want to share my videos, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.